Hey guys, welcome to another episode here. I'm not sure if this should be just a regular around the table GTA episode or if this should be a side topic or a side table kind of thing. Maybe off the table, maybe flip the table. But basically, this episode's going to be a little bit political. I'm going to be talking about the convoy that's been going across the nation of Canada. There's a lot of conflicting views. There's views from alternative media, not the classical media of sort. The mainstream media is saying, what people are saying online, and basically other social media pages. Just to start off, there's no right or wrong answers. Everyone has their own views, and they have their right to their views. That's why we live in such a beautiful country where we could express these kind of things. The convoy, it's meant to be a peaceful protest from what I've heard, from what I've been kind of like researching as well. There's a huge media spin, apparently. It started off, like, I've been watching it for maybe like a week, and like it started off with the Prime Minister kind of saying that it was not much, right? Not a big deal or whatever. The keyword is fringe minority. And ever since then, it's kind of been rolling. And there's just been different views on it. And the media's been consistent on like kind of diminishing it. They said that there were sheer numbers, at least from the truckers, that's what they were saying. But the amount that ended up coming was a lot less than what was said initially. But a lot of things that happened behind the scenes with like bridges closing and places being blocked off and certain routes being stopped or blockaded and everything, it's kind of strange where something that seemed so small kind of blew up so big as well. It's also been reported that they actually turned off the highway cameras so people wouldn't see how many truckers were coming, and they reached this weekend and there's still supposed to be more people coming. Here are some pros, right? They're saying their cause is like it's supposed to be anti-mandate, right? The media spun it to say anti-vaccine. There's people on both sides apparently, right? And it's good to see something like that where people are just standing up for something, right? I think the last time we've seen people kind of like get together is either against something like Donald Trump or more like getting together when like Pokemon Go was a big fad, where people were trying to change bylaws so that people could go and discover Pokemon. It's like something so trivial, and people got really into the laws and looking into what is illegal and how did that even come into place. A lot of like small laws and bylaws for cities and towns and everything. And it stirred up something, but it was something that was good. Like you got to change the environment, even though it was for something that was kind of like not that big of a deal. It just goes to show what you could do when you get a group of people together for a cause that's supposed to be positive. I just keep it short. The cons, obviously, there's a lot of people there, the noise that's coming into the city. I don't live there personally, but from the posts I've seen of people that I do know, saying it's like really noisy and it's disturbing and everything. Also vandalism as well. It doesn't matter where you kind of protest, there's always going to be people there trying to start a riot or just disrespectful, whether it's a protest, whether it's a gathering. Like if you go back to one of my episodes just talking about Instagram spots, places like that get destroyed just because of the flock of people, right? It's not intended, but sometimes people do stupid stuff. And yeah, that's the small parts of it. My conspiracy theory twist on it. So this is the third viewpoint. Kind of a bit silly, but at the same time it isn't. It's kind of strange how quickly the convoy came together and the narrative got pushed. Like, yeah, the Prime Minister said something about it, but even then it was just like everywhere online. If you were on certain parts of the internet, right? So it was kind of strange. It kind of feels manufactured. I don't know if that's a good manufacturing or a bad manufacturing. I also like took 50 minutes to listen to an interview with the organizers of the convoy, and they were talking about how multiple trucks from different regions of Canada were trying to come together. So they didn't all leave from the same spot, and people are coming from every which direction. And he said one of the best things is that even though we're all Canadian, we're regionally different, right? So how people act or talk in one province might be different in another province. Even the way like people vote or the type of music that they listen to. So it was really cool that people kind of got rid of their regional differences, right? Like there's always Ontario Quebec beef, or even like most of Canada Quebec beef. Beef is arguments, or like BC versus the Maritimes or whatever, or people making fun of Newfoundland or Saskatchewan for being just so boring and stuff like that. But that was tossed out of the window, and people just kept going on. And they were talking about not everyone has arrived, so there's still people trying to make it over there, and even coming from the US to support the movement. There's been a lot of narrative that it's not peaceful, but apparently they've been working with the law enforcement in Ottawa. So that's how you know they're really serious, if they're talking with law enforcement to try to minimize the chaos as well. And it's all controlled, right? So that's why it's also a part of a conspiracy twist, where it's just like, okay, so it's a manufactured thing, and the government and the feds and the police know what's going on anyway, so they might be hyping it up on one side, but it's really safe on the other side. But it's good to know that they're trying to do everything in a positive light. No matter how you feel about it, I think overall it's kind of a good thing, where people are coming together for a cause that they support, whether you think it's stupid or not, whether you believe in it or not. It's nice to see people working together to try to better something, at least in their eyes. And I think we need more of that in general. I think the internet creates a lot of divisiveness for no reason, and that's a big theme about this whole convoy thing, is coming together and ending divisiveness, whether you live on one side of the country or another side of the country. Doesn't really matter where you're ethnically from originally. You identify as Canadian, which is something that's pretty awesome, I believe. And just trying to figure out how we're going to get out of the pandemic as a nation, whether we're doing it through waiting for the next set of instructions, or forcing the hand of the government to make a choice faster so that people could get back to their normal lives. People can express themselves outside with less of a fear, potentially, of what's going on. Kids being able to be kids, right? I really don't like bringing kids into politics at all. Not because I don't have any kids or anything like that. It's just that some people don't understand, and some people use their children kind of like a piece to talk, when it shouldn't be like that. I think it shouldn't be like that, but that's my point of view. But overall, I think it's something that's interesting, whether you're on either side or not. I think it'll help people just kind of view things a little bit more, whether you agree or not. Whatever the outcome is, just watch how the media does their view on it, watch how people react, and just watch how people kind of like align themselves. It's another interesting aspect of human beings. You'll see how people will flock together or divide, or just knock off their differences and be like, hey, this is kind of silly. So hopefully you learned something from all of this, and let me hear what your thoughts are, whether you care or not, right? Some people have no idea what I'm even talking about, and they'll search Convoy 2020, or whatever crazy tags they have on Twitter and everywhere else, that I'm not going to mention in the video because they're all kind of like hateful stuff, and I don't want to add to any hate. I think we just need more positivity, especially with the last 2 years that we've dealt with. Either way, I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Take care.